Hello everyone, back tuning in today's first video. We're going to have a look at the rain situation that we've got coming up in the next 24 to 36 hours. Today's first video. Later on we'll have a look at the weather next week, 10 days. Also have a look at the CFSV2 for the coming month. I couldn't get it all into one video, so I thought we'd isolate tomorrow's weather and have a look at that on its own first of all. So we could be seeing anything up to around 50 millimetres of rain across some central and eastern and southern parts of the country through the course of tomorrow. Heavy and torrential rain, particularly in the afternoon and the evening. And I'll show you what's going on right now. So this is the facts chart from the UK Met Office. This is the human interpretation of the models by the forecasters at the UK Met. This is for midnight tonight, and we can see that I've got two cold fronts at that point strung out across the country. They won't be all that active at that point at midnight, but as we go through to tomorrow morning, they start to intensify. So what happens is that we get a couple of waves running up along these cold fronts that turns them just from cold fronts into occluded fronts. And when you get a wave like this, we've actually got two waves within these two fronts, just here and just here. When you get these waves developing along the front, it peps up the rain, and often you get an area of low pressure that develops along the front, and that's what's happening just here. We've got an area of low pressure developing. This is the actual centre of it at midday tomorrow, indicated by that X just there. So that's going to really start to intensify the rain through the course of tomorrow morning, and then as we go through to midnight on Thursday, you see we've actually got an area of low pressure then sitting over the eastern part of the country and into the North Sea. Those occluded fronts are moving away to the east in that sort of direction, and that's taking the heavy rain away to the eastern side of the country. So you see that the fronts and the area of low pressure never really gets to Scotland and Northern Ireland, so you'll mostly stay out of trouble tomorrow, as will many western parts of Wales. I think southwest England will get some rain, but I think it's really going to be from the Midlands eastwards and southwards that we will have the risk of some quite significant wet weather. This is the GFS precipitation forecast for midnight tonight. Now, as we've got those two cold fronts across the country, that we saw on the fact chart, the cold fronts just there at midnight. You see, at midnight, those fronts are actually quite inactive, just light, patchy bits and pieces of rain across England and Wales at that time. Clear for Scotland, Northern Ireland, and much of northern England. By 6 o'clock in the morning, though, the fronts are starting to reinvigorate. That's as the wave begins to develop along the fronts. So we've got more outbreaks of rain developing along those fronts across southern and southwestern parts. Nothing particularly heavy at that point. But by the time you go through to midday, look at that. We've now got very heavy rain developing, or heavy rain developing across much of England and Wales. Again, it's particularly from the Midlands southwards and eastwards. So parts of southwest England, yes, there is some rain there, but not all that much. And parts of western Wales are mostly dry. Further north of that, into northern England, Scotland, you're out of trouble. You don't really need to worry all that much. So it's from the Midlands southwards and eastwards that we've got that heavy rain developing through tomorrow morning, and then it intensifies further through tomorrow afternoon. So this is 6 o'clock in the evening tomorrow. We've actually got quite torrential rain now setting up through particularly northeastern parts of England, so Yorkshire, Lincolnshire, down into the Midlands, particularly the eastern part of the Midlands, and down into central southern parts of England. From East Anglia down into Kent, not quite as much rain there at that point. So it's really that sway through eastern and central southern parts of England. It's getting the heaviest rain tomorrow afternoon. And then, of course, as low pressure pulls away into the North Sea, that rain is pulled across to the east side. So eventually, across East Anglia and South East England, you do get the rain far southeast of England into Kent, the parts of East Anglia. Yes, you do get rain eventually, but it's not hour after hour after hour of rain, such as we have through parts of Yorkshire, Lincolnshire, down into the Midlands, into central and southern parts of England. And then by the time you go through 6 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, it's all over. The rain's gone off into the North Sea, and then we're turning significantly drier. That's the GFS. Let's see how the high resolution Euro 4 model is developing this. So high resolution Euro 4 is from website Weather Online. It's a UK Met Office product. Again, this is the precipitation forecast for midnight tonight. We see again got very light patchy rain there across England and Wales, nothing overly alarming taking place, but by 6 o'clock in the morning those fronts are beginning to reinvigorate, so the rain is developing. At that point it's just general outbreaks of rain, nothing particularly heavy, just general rain at 6 o'clock in the morning through southwest England into Wales, through the Midlands into East Anglia as well. But then as we go through into the midday on Wednesday, we actually find that the rain starts to get heavy then. So you see that we've got a line of heavy rain through northeastern parts of England, coming down in towards the Midlands, into Wales, and this is more into southwest England too, which actually leaves much of the southeast mostly dry. I think the Jervis is a little bit further east with this line of rain compared to Euro 4. Now by 6 o'clock in the evening we've got a very heavy band of rain there lying through much of England and Wales. Again, it's through Yorkshire, Lincolnshire, down into the Midlands, through into central southern parts of England. East Anglia, south east England, the rain is beginning to move in there, but it's still more or less dry up to 6 o'clock in the evening in the far southeast of the country. It's turning drier through Wales and southwestern England. And then by midnight on Thursday, the heavy rain is pulling off in towards the North Sea. This is the total precipitation that the Euro 4 model is predicting up to midnight. You see quite widely, midnight on Thursday I should say, you see quite widely across England and Wales we're seeing anything between 10 and 20 millimetres, but it's really this swathe that's from South Wales into the Midlands and then going through in towards the Humber and into parts of Lincolnshire. In that swathe, we've got anything between sort of 25 and 40 millimetres of rain being predicted. So that's an inch to around 2 inches. 2 inches, 50 millimetres, doesn't quite go to that level, I don't think. But anything between an inch and 2 inches of rain looks possible in that swathe from South Wales through the Midlands in towards the Humber. Yes, you could get some very wet weather there. Obviously, the roads will be awash if you're in that area. There will be localised flooding as well. And as I say, otherwise, outside of that area, it does look pretty quite wet. Although you notice that for eastern parts of East Anglia, down into the far southeast of England, we're only talking about 5-6 millimetres up to midnight on Thursday. So not all that much really in the very far southeast, but otherwise quite a lot of rain being predicted by Euro 4. And then finally, the WRF model from the website metroshield.fi. Maybe you can find a link to all of these websites on the links page. So this is 2 o'clock in the morning, tomorrow morning, Wednesday. And again, not much really is going on at that point. As we go through to 6 o'clock in the morning, however, we find the rain is beginning to redevelop there through southern and southeastern parts of the country, and then it all starts to get quite a lot heavier as we run through tomorrow morning. It starts to turn very wet there through much of central southern England, and that rain then pushes northwards and eastwards through the afternoon to evening. This is 7 o'clock in the evening tomorrow, where it really is pouring with rain across much of central and eastern England in particular, and also going down into the southeast. Now these orange areas just here, they look a little bit convective, so there may be a little bit of thunder with this through parts of eastern England and down in towards the London area. That could be something else to watch out for. Up to midnight on Thursday, we find that rain clearing off in towards the North Sea. So it does, when it starts to move, it does go quite quickly. I mean, it's out of the way by the time we go through into Thursday. We're all looking significantly drier. This is the total precipitation forecast from the WRF model up to 6 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, where you see widely across England and Wales, we're looking at anything to 10 to 20 millimetres of rain. But again, we've got this swathe of really quite intense rain that can deliver anything up to 30 to 40, possibly 50 millimetres of rain, 1 to 2 inches of rain. it's a little bit further east compared to the Euro 4 with this way. So it's through the Humber, down in towards the East Midlands, then into southern parts of England, whereas the Euro 4 is a little bit further west with that line of intense rainfall that's going to occur tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. But it does look quite a significant rain event, this, through those central and eastern parts of southern England, in towards the Midlands, up in towards the Humber region. Does look quite significant. So I say we could be seeing anything up to 25 millimetres in those areas, maybe more, possibly between 25 and 50 millimetres, 1 to 2 inches of rain. Other parts of England and Wales will have rain as well, and there you're talking about 10, 20 millimetres. The very far southeast doesn't really get too much until right at the end of tomorrow evening. So down into Kent, those sort of areas, you probably won't have too much in the way of rain down there. But it's an interesting scenario. It's been a long time since I've had to do sort of a rain watch, because it's been in a prolonged dry period for a long time. So just be a case of see what happens tomorrow. It's going to be quite an interesting day if you don't mind the rain. Right, later on we'll be having a look at the weather for the next week to 10 days. We'll have a look at CFSV2 as well. That'll take us through into June. So come back for that this afternoon. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.